Welcome back, sewists. I want to talk to you today about having your PDF patterns printed professionally. If you've worked with any of the indie pattern companies where you buy a pattern, it comes in multiple sizes, you can print it off and tape it together, you can project it like I often do from above and trace it all off, or you can have it printed on a large scale printer like they do blueprints on from a printing company. Sometimes you can go to Staples and places like that, but there are quite a few companies online you can upload your file to, and they will mail you your pattern. I have used a couple different pattern printing companies, so I'm going to show you what the patterns look like today. I'm going to show you what the process of printing or getting your pattern printed, how it works to upload to the company, and I'm going to tell you which ones I've worked with that I've really liked. I have one outstanding winner and a second runner-up. So let's look at getting our PDF patterns printed for us. This is really great. If you don't have a printer at home, if you hate printing out 30 sheets of paper, matching them up and taping them, I'm just telling you, it was one of my least favorite things when working with an indie pattern was printing it, which is why I quickly got a projector. But I really like the printing process, also having it printed for me. It takes longer. You don't have that instant gratification of, I like the pattern, I can download it, immediately project it, and trace it all in the same day. You definitely have some time lag in there, but it works really well, and it's not super cost prohibitive depending on the company you go with and what you're doing. So let's head over to my computer and look at how the process works. I want to start with the 3 pattern companies that I've personally used. Then I will just show you some other options available that I have not tried yet. So this is Tape Free Patterns. This is a company that I have really liked working with. So to start, we're going to choose Services and then AO Pattern Printing. This bright pink button that says Start Your AO Print. Once we're on this screen, we have the option of choosing the weight of paper. Later, I will show you the different paper weights. I'm going to choose, they have translucent, non-woven, and matte, and I'm going to choose matte because it's the cheapest. Next, we name our pattern. This is for them and for us. So let me bring up my PDF file and choose a pattern. Okay, I'm choosing the ballad blouse and finding the AO size in the file options. I'm going to type that in the name area real quick. I don't have any special instructions to put into this box, so I'm going to leave it blank. Now I'm going to select the pattern, and you can either select it in the files on your computer or you can drag and drop, which is what I'm going to do. Make sure you choose AO. That is the size most of the pattern paper. You can see it listed here, and I'm just going to click Add. And in order to add it, I actually had to click on the file up there at the top. Make sure it was highlighted. And now we can see the file that we've uploaded, and while you're here, you want to count how many pages you want to print. So I counted 4 pages, and now I'm going to click Add. And then on this page, you can see it listed down here, and it asks quantity. This is not how many times it's going to print your pattern, but how many pages are included in that pattern. So I had 4 pages that I want printed. I'm putting quantity 4. You see it says out of stock, and that is because the paper I chose, which was the heavy matte paper, is out of stock, so I could go in and choose a different one. The translucent paper, which I really do like, is more expensive. So the matte was only $1.80 a page, where the translucent is $2.25 per page. So however many you have in quantity will be multiplied by the paper price. So now that I have chosen the second paper, I have to go back and choose my quantity again, and then I'm going to add it to cart. Now, I understand that you can print multiple patterns. You can go in and choose multiple patterns and have them all printed at the same time. I have never done this. I've only done it one pattern at a time, but I know it is possible to add more than one pattern to your cart. So if you look at the cost, it's currently $9. That's for printing my 4 pages at $2.25 before shipping. And in order to give you a good idea, I have saved a couple of receipts so you can see the total cost. This one from Tape Free was a pattern that I had printed that was only 1 page. I had it printed in the more expensive translucent paper, and the shipping, or delivery as they call it, was $4.88 for 1 page printed. So it was $7.13 to have my 1 page printed. Now this pattern was 2 pages. in the less expensive matte paper. So it was $360 for the 2 pages and then $530 for delivery. So it was a little more expensive to ship, more pattern pages. So in total it was $890 for 2 pattern pages of the heavier stock paper. Okay, so that's tape-free patterns and the process of uploading your file. It's not that difficult. I think the most confusing thing for me was choosing the quantity of pages, and I know they actually have a thing that's a page counter for you if you need it. All right, let's move on to Folkware patterns. I have used Folkware a lot and just realized that they have a pattern printing service. Now, I buy their patterns all the time, so it was really cool to me to think that I could use them to actually print patterns too. One of the benefits of Folkware is that have a $8 fee for up to 5 pages. It works the same way. You choose your file. It's very similar. Tell them how many pages. So the cost is pretty reasonable if you have a 5-page-ish pattern to print out for $8. Then there's shipping on top of that. All of these will have shipping and other fees on top of the printing price. The other nice thing, if you have a large pattern, say 10 pages, they will charge you for 2 patterns. And so instead of the $8 fee, it will be $16. However, they give you a 20% discount on that second pattern, which is a nice option if you're printing large number of pages. It's the same as the tape-free in that you choose your file and then you click the number of pages that are in that file that you want printed. When I used Folkware, I had also ordered a regular pattern. Okay, so here's my receipt from Folkware. And you can see the actual pattern price. The patterns are not cheap, but they come, again, printed on that nice heavy paper. And then here is my printing with $8. And then you can see I got a discount of $3 because I ordered 2 items from them. Shipping was almost 10, it was $9.33. So I spent $36.29 for my one order from Folkware. And of that, let's say we can kind of treat this like I got my printing $3 off. Like my printing was $5, but then shipping was $9.33 for the 2 patterns. Just so you can kind of see the cost for Folkware. Now let's look at pattern printers. I've used them a few times, including the Cassidy skirt that I made a while back. Upload your file. So you'll just come down here and choose how many pages they're printing in that file that you just uploaded. So when I did the Cassidy skirt, I believe it was 3 pages, so I would choose 3 to print all 3 pages. And you can see their cost per page is $2.75, so this is quite a bit more than the tape-free patterns. Now this one I printed quite a while ago and I cannot find my receipt, so I cannot tell you exactly how much shipping was. You'll have to let me know if you've used them and how much your shipping was down in the comments. Okay, so here are a few other companies. This one is called PDF Plotting, and you can see that it is $3.09 per page. One of the benefits of this company is that they will do rush shipping. They offer 2 weights, the 20-pound paper and the newsprint paper. I'm pretty sure the newsprint is more expensive. The reason I think this company would be beneficial for some, if you are working with a client, you've done a custom pattern, or you have a pattern that you've ordered for them and you have a short turnaround time, the fast shipping from them may make it worth it. It will not be cheap, however. So the newsprint, it will print in color or black and white. The sizing is a little off for AO patterns, and it is a little more expensive. $3.72. That's per page. I also believe this company will auto read how many pages are within your file. Now this is a blueprint printer who will also do patterns for you. It's called theplanprinter.com. You can choose sewing patterns. You can choose the size of paper. So if you have a sewing pattern that will print to something other than AO, AO is the large one, 36 by 48. You can choose that. And I also saw on the front page before I skipped over here, it has a flat shipping of $16, and it's free shipping if you have an over $300 order. Now once I've chosen the AO size, it is $2.20 per page. And it does have, down here you can choose paper and ink. It costs more for color printing. Some of these companies did not charge me anymore to have the pattern printed in color. And then down here you can see your pages, your paper sizes, standard, heavier, and the vellum, which is quite a bit more expensive, but it's really nice paper. This one even gets into resolution if you want your patterns folded. I believe it comes rolled up like blueprints if you don't choose folded. Color printing is really nice. As you can see here, if you have multiple sizes, having the colors really is helpful if you're doing pattern alterations and tracing, etc. Okay, next we're going to look at Sew Bow. You just come down and choose pattern printing, and their cost is $5.50 per page, and they are a middleman. So if you read right below where it tells you the cost, it says they've partnered with a local printer. That means they are not in-house printing. You're uploading your stuff to them. They are taking it to the printers, getting it printed, and then turning around and shipping it back to you, which is why it's more expensive per page. They're not doing it in-house. Okay, so that is a little overview of putting your patterns, of sending your patterns to a printer company, and the process of uploading them to the company, etc., to get them back. So now let's go look at the actual patterns when you get them back and what they're like. We're going to look at some of these patterns that I had printed. Some of these are old that I did in the past, and you may have seen them before. This first one is my beautiful coat that I just love. It's called Subversive Femme Patterns. It's the Tasha Swing coat, and man, I love this pattern so much. You can see I have traced it off. You can see how big it is, nice and big. And this is how it comes printed. This one is one where they literally copied the original pattern with its markings and added nothing extra. So this is what you get as far as the pattern goes. Heavyweight paper, and this is the Cassidy skirt, which I've made on here, and this one is just 2 pages also. Very similar paper, and you can see all the lines. This one, some of them you can have them printed in color if it's available. Not every company that you order a pattern from will come in color, but you can see how many sizes there are on this one. This is one that if it comes in color, it might be easier for you, because this one goes from a size 00 to a size 30. So you can see all of those sizes on here. You can see, again, very heavy, nice weight fabric, or paper. I keep saying fabric. And I put them in my little clear plastic zippies. I print off a little cover sheet, and I've changed how I'm doing that right now. My printer that I kept in the sweater just died, so I'm no longer doing that. And then this is the Sonia E-Step Phoebe. Now these are all ones that I did last go round, and this one is 3 pages. This is heavy, at least 3 pages. Here you can see the little square to make sure that it's printed correctly. 1, 2, yeah, this one's multiple pages. I have not worked with this pattern yet at all. It's so cute though. I really want to. Again, same paper. These are all pretty much printed on the same type of paper. I think it's called number 20 bond. We'll double check that. When we went over it on the computer, it did say what the paper was. So since then, I have tried 2 new companies, and one that I found printed patterns was Folkware. Now this is the pattern I ordered, that's their pattern, but they also have a printing service. So when I ordered this pattern, I also asked for them to print one of my patterns just as a test to see. And then I ordered this neat Afghan dress, and then let me show you the pattern. Now this paper is different than the others. This is a little slicker, a little more translucent. This was printed in color. Here you can see all of the colors. The pattern that I sent to be printed went from an extra small to a 5X. This is the Melody Dolman, which is on my cutting table. I have the fabric for this. This is one that I'm going to be doing soon. This was a 3-page pattern. So this was $8 before tax and shipping to have this printed in color, no less. So I'm very excited about that. Melody Dolman by Love Notions. And the paper is different. I don't know how to explain it, but it's slicker, it's smoother paper than these. This feels more papery. This It feels almost vellum-like a little bit, but I really like it. Nice paper. If you use them for patterns, then you can add this to your order. And what I have started doing since my printer died is I do have a thermal printer, and now I'm printing my pictures on stickers like this that I can just stick to the front of my my little envelope, or put it on a piece of paper and slide it in the envelope. So that is from Folkware. And then this one, this is my personal favorite that I am now going to use more often. This is Tape-Free Patterns. Came in this very cute sack. And the pattern that I ordered was the Sarah dress by Chickafrick. They sent, I appreciate this, they sent this little sample of how patterns can be printed and the different papers that you can print on. And I have ordered another paper. This is the more tissue-like. It's like a webbing that you can have it printed on. It's more see-through. This one, I forget what it's called, but this is a different weight. And I have a pattern I will show you made it. That's this paper. This is a little closer to what the Folkware is like. Yes, it's pretty similar. This one's a little more, you can see through it a little better. And then this is the more bond paper. And in color, they will print. And one of the things that I like, first of all, you're dealing with a real person. They text, or they sent me emails if there was any issues with the pattern or anything that was going on. They send you an email when your pattern is ready to, they receive your order, and then they send you another email saying your pattern is ready to ship back to you. They sent my pattern in an envelope, a nice envelope like this. Now this one pattern cost me $8.90. It was $3.60 for 2 pages, which is $1.80 a page for the bond paper. And then the shipping was $5.30. So shipping is where more of it is. But it came with this nice envelope. I really like that. And I printed this in the regular paper, full color, for $1.80 a page. Look at the colors. Isn't that nice? Translucent paper pattern that I ordered has arrived, and I'm just going to have them on top of each. You can actually see there's a little bit of a color difference. This one's a little more ivory, and if you look closely, can you see the colors coming through? This is just a little bit lighter weight. See my hand through that? I really like this paper. It is more expensive. This is the original. It's more like architect's paper. It's a heavy paper. It's great. Your patterns will last a long time, especially if you're tracing them over and over again. But I really do like this weight, but it's going to cost you more. And talk to you about specifically tape-free patterns and one of the things that they helped me with. When I ordered my most recent pattern, this translucent paper one, so I could have a paper comparison for you, I just uploaded a very simple pattern that I want to work on right away that I just ordered. And when it said on the file, AO size, and it actually says it in the name even, AO size. So when I uploaded it, I knew it was appropriate for their paper size that I was asking them to print it. However, when I got it to the company, and this is at Tape-Free Patterns, I got a message back saying there is no size scale on the pattern. Normally they have a little cube that'll be like, 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters, or 4 inches by 4 inches, something, so that you know that you are getting the right size. So here's the Love's Notions pattern, and you can see right there, it has a square, and that square is 4 inches on the big square, and the inside square is 1 inch. And it is for scale, so that if you're projecting, if your printer's not right, something, you'll know, so you don't end up with a pattern that's off because it didn't print correctly. And at Tape-Free Patterns, they check it before they print, which is amazing. They don't just load the file, print it, and you're stuck with whatever mistakes you made. She checked it for me. And so when I sent this most recent pattern to her, it was just a 1-page pattern, and no big deal. It was going to cost me $7, something like that, for my 1 page. I got an email saying there's no size scale, and when she puts it into her program, it blows up too big, like 60 by 48, which is bigger than the pattern paper. And I said, well, what can I do? Is it even doable? And she said she would resize it for me for a small fee of $3, which is a lot of work. So she resized the pattern, made sure it worked, and send it to me with a little note saying, hey, there's no scale on here. I don't know what the original scale was supposed to be. There's nothing, but it is now resized and it looks appropriate. I think the way she resized it is actually how it was meant to be. So there was probably an issue in the original file. And that is just something that we have to deal with when working with an indie pattern company, especially some of the small ones. When you're on Etsy, people sometimes will just scan an existing pattern, make a few changes, put it in. You don't always know what you're getting. And I love this pattern as far as the style. I think it's adorable. It's one I considered drafting myself and thought, I'm going to order it because then people who are not into drafting their own patterns can still make it when I do a little tutorial on it. So I ordered there's a lot of them out there, but this is the particular one I ordered. And in the AO size, anyway, there was an issue with the pattern itself. We'll see. I am going to do a test on it to make sure that it is appropriate sizing now that it's been resized to fit. But they were amazing at Tape-Free Patterns for communicating with me, for having a solution, and very inexpensive. I will just say, my one-page pattern to get it printed was about $10, but they were wonderful at Tape-Free. All of the companies that I talked about will be either listed on the screen where you can just see it on the screen, or there will be a link in the description. I personally really liked Folkware and Tape-Free, and I think the other one was Pattern Printers, something like that. I can't even remember the name now, but I will have them listed below for you if you would like to try them out and see what they're like. Well, thanks for hanging out with me at the computer today. I would love to know if you've used any of these companies. If you've done Staples or similar, I'm also curious because that is the one that is probably the most accessible as far as you can just walk in with a thumb drive and do it, but I have had more issues than just uploading it on my computer. Let me know if you've used any of these companies, or if there's one out there I didn't mention but is great. Please drop it down in the comments for others to know, and I will see you next week for another fun video.